Today we'll talk about relative motions. Relative motion deals with questions like what speed of something will you observe when you are not moving and when you are moving? And what is the relation between the two observations? We have been taught relative motions in our middle school and high school physics classes. And we already know a lot about it. It's not very tough. But whatever we have been taught, something is wrong in that. Something really does not happen. Let's see what that is.
In their lab, Humpty and Dumpty set up an experiment. Humpty is standing in their lab's frame of reference. Dumpty is standing on a cart of length 1,000,000 meters. The cart is moving with a constant speed of 500,000 meters per second in positive x direction. There are 3 clocks, one with Humpty, another with Dumpty, and the third one at point B on the cart. All the clocks read 0 when Humpty and Dumpty pass each other. A ball starts to move at t equals to 0 from A to B with 1,000,000 meters per second as observed by Dumpty. Humpty wants to know the speed of ball from his perspective. According to Dumpty, distance traveled by ball is 1,000,000 meters. Speed of the ball is 1,000,000 meters per second. So the time taken by the ball to travel from A to B is 1 second. According to Humpty, at t equals to 0, the ball is 1,000,000 meters apart from point B. Ball coincides with B at t equals to 1. In 1 second, point B also moves because it is attached to the cart and the cart is moving. So, Humpty should observe that the ball travels a total of 1.5 million meters in 1 second. Therefore, Humpty should report exactly 1.5 million meters per second. Let's see what Humpty actually observed with his infinitely accurate instrument. Humpty reports 1,499,991.667 meters per second. With his infinitely accurate instrument, Humpty can't be wrong, but the results don't match. At this point of time, it's tempting to think that this is an experimental error, but no. This is not an experimental error. As I said, Humpty has a very infinitely accurate instrument. Something is wrong in our calculation. Our calculation is based on Galilean transformation. Transformation is a set of rules used to convert positions xyz and time observed by Humpty to those observed by Dumpty and vice versa. The Galilean transformation looks like this. Galilean transformation assumes that the time observed by all the observers is the same. That is why t with respect to Dumpty was equal to t with respect to Humpty. And that is what we are taught in our schools. There is another transformation called Lorentz transformation. Here, something weird happens. Change of time experienced by Humpty and Dumpty are not the same. Rather, the speed of light observed by both are same. That's weird, but this is what they assumed. And this leads to 2 important conclusions. First one, Humpty will observe the distance between A and B to be a little less than 1,000,000 meters, while Dumpty will still observe AB to be 1,000,000 meters. We call this phenomena length contraction. Second conclusion, by the time 1 second passes on the cart with respect to Dumpty, a little bit more than a second passes in the lab's frame. This is called time dilation. Keeping these 2 things in mind, let's try to correct our calculations. As observed by Humpty, AB is the contracted length, that is a bit less than 1,000,000 meters. Time taken by ball to travel from the start to finish is the dilated time, that is a bit more than a second. Plus, an extra correction time of 5.56 microseconds to be precise. By this amount of time, point B on cart travels a little more than 500,000 meters. So the speed of ball observed by Humpty is this much, which is what Humpty actually report. One of the valid questions to ask at this point of time is, what is this extra correction time? The correction term is used to account for the clock synchronization issue that cannot be avoided in the relativistic world. I have explained it in another video. You can find a link to the video by clicking on the I button on the top right. Yet another valid point is the difference in the answer obtained by two approaches is very small, so why should we even care? After all, the second approach is a lot more confusing. We can just stick to the first approach because it's so straightforward and gives answer which is pretty close to what the reality is. As we assign larger speeds to the cart and the ball so that their speeds are comparable to the speed of light, the relative speed calculated using Galilean transformation starts to deviate from the actual relative speed observed by Humpty. Relativistically speaking, the speeds chosen in our example are very small, so the results are really close to what we would get by using Galilean transformation.
I have avoided using expressions. I have used numbers instead because according to me numbers are easier to digest, at least for the first time, to notice the changes, what is wrong. Numbers help to understand. Anyways, rigorous literature and discussions on the topics we have discussed here are already available online, and I've mentioned some of the good sources to learn more about the topic. You can also search topics like special relativity, length contraction, time dilation, and other stuffs related to it, and tinker and spend time with them. I'll encourage you to do that. Anyways, links to some good places are mentioned in the description below. Please go and check out.